Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Bob Morris, Professor of Biology at Wheaton College in Massachusetts. Welcome to another episode of Science with Dr. Bob. We've talked about sound before, and today we're going to talk about how there are wind instruments everywhere. We've talked about how sound, we make with this tuning fork here, is pressure waves moving through air. And we can picture those pressure waves moving down a slinky as compressions of the slinky. You can also picture those are similar to the compression waves in air that sound is made of. When we make fewer waves per amount of time, that's a higher pitch. The less often the waves, the lower the pitch. The more often the waves, the higher the pitch. Okay, we can also picture waves another way. Let's try this other slinky here. And to see this slinky, let's set that board there. And again, the waves move down the slinky as compression waves. But I want you to notice now the waves also come back. And that's true of all our wind instruments. The wave moves down the tube and it'll bounce right back. When we match the vibration that we're putting into the system, like I'm going to start with my right hand here, just like that, so that the amount of vibration I'm putting into the system matches the natural vibration of the material, we build up those waves. This is called resonance. When you add energy to a system at its natural vibration rate, you can create resonance. The frequency of the energy going into the system matches the system's natural vibrations. And each of the instruments we'll talk about today has this same property. All tubes do. It's in fact the air in the tube that vibrates like this with pressure waves. Now, we can change the note by changing the amount of energy we put in. When we add the right amount of energy to the system, we get these natural vibrations. This is called the first harmonic. When we increase the amount of energy, we can get more waves in the system. Now, in fact, this looks like two waves. They appear to be standing in place. We call them standing waves. But in fact, that is the product of the waves I'm sending down adding to the waves that are bouncing back. Now, if I add even more energy, I hope I can do it there. You can see three waves sometimes. That's called the third harmonic. And that's what's happening to the waves that are in any wind instrument. To the air in that tube, we can add vibrations by a couple different ways. All wind instruments are tubes into which you put vibrations. A pan flute like this, or a flute, you split the air over the tip of the tube. And if the wave is longer, you'll get a lower note. And if the tube is shorter, you have to get the angle just right, the note is higher. We're creating those standing waves within that tube. So the trick is to add the right kind of vibrations. With a pan flute or a flute, the splitting the air creates vibrations at the mouthpiece. With a clarinet or a saxophone or an oboe, a reed vibrates against the mouthpiece. With a bugle, the vibrations come from your lips. You have to buzz into these instruments in order to get a musical note. And those vibrations, again, just like the slinky, can start with the lowest note possible. The lowest note possible starts with very low vibrations. And that gives us our first harmonic, our fundamental note. Now, we can change the note by increasing the energy that we put in, by vibrating a little bit more tightly. And each of our each of our wind instruments is a wind column. This one's just coiled in a tube and over itself. You can change the length of that tube by introducing keys. Now, keys on a trumpet redirect the vibrations into different lengths of tube so that I haven't practiced in years, folks, so I'll do my best. What I'm doing is changing the length of the tube by pushing the keys. So that leads us to a hypothesis. If wind instruments are wind columns that we're introducing vibrations into, is it possible then to play any tube, such as a wrapping paper tube? Well, if we introduce the right amount of vibration into the end so we get those standing waves, we should start off with our low notes. Sure enough. And then just change the vibration. And you get a different note. How about other tubes? There's our wrapping paper tube. Paper towel. Now remember, the shorter the tube, the higher the energy, the higher the note, the higher the frequency, the higher the energy. So you really have to buzz hard and buzz with very tight lips into a paper towel tube. Sure enough, and even toilet paper. This one's really a high note, and you have to buzz just off a center to get that high note. Oh, music to anyone's ears. So there you have it. Sound is pressure waves in air. You can make those pressure waves to create notes with just the right vibration to match any tube. There are wind instruments everywhere. So until next time, go find your own instrument, make beautiful music, and keep on experimenting.